another short video on service work on a Volvo S40. This time I'm going to do spark plugs. So, relatively simple job. First thing you need to do is move that out of the way. Is take these two covers off, and that is just these 6 T30 torque type bolts. Okay, so cover off, and we can see there the edge of the timing chain, not timing belt, sorry, and the 4 plug tops. So we have 2 plug top coils which pass on to the other 2 cylinders as well. Rather unique setup. You've then obviously got this sensor on the top bit, which I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm not too fussed at the moment. And the 2 supply cables in to plug tops. So it'd probably be worth removing as much cabling as you can, because certainly on this engine, this stuff had it. It's just falling apart in my fingers. So you want to remove it as carefully as you can, and we may need to be looking at doing some repairs to that afterwards. So bulk of the cables out of the way. Got the 2 plug tops up there out of the way, laid out in the sequence they came off with their HT lead type connectors, and down in here we can actually see the plugs right in the bottom. The 2 plug top coils have a little 10mm bolt there that just hold them in place, so you'll need to undo those obviously to get the units out. Okay, so that's the 2 coil toppers off. Again, they're laid out nice obvious way as to which way around they went. So one thing to note when you're doing these is they are the smaller 10mm plugs, not the normal larger ones you'll see. So if you've got an old toolkit with a plug spanner in it, it might not be the right size. It's what I used to use on motorbikes. I don't know if that's the standard on all newer cars, but certainly on Volvo's newer than this. So to remove it is simply a case of drop your plug spanner down on, give it a wiggle until it clicks in, and then undo it. They don't need a lot of force, they should be fairly loose. So there we go, 1 plug out, focuses. And it's worth having a look at them to check the general state of them. This one's slightly started to burn around the edges, but it's generally not too bad condition. There is some useful charts you can find online that tell you whether you've got poor spark, which is burning the electrodes, or whether you've got too much fuel, which is oiling them up and things like that. And it's just worth having a look while you've got them out. And then to replace it is as simple as pop the new socket and the new plug into the socket, drop it back in, and check with the Haynes manual what the torquing is on it, because it really isn't very high, so be very sure for your specific engine. So a useful tip when fitting these is to literally just let them sit on their own weight and just turn. And if you put too much force into it or push it in, you stand a very real chance of cross-threading it. Once you've cross-threaded it once, you'll have an absolute nightmare, and eventually you'll find the plugs won't stay in. They'll start working themselves loose, or won't seal properly, and you'll lose compression in that cylinder. And then that gets expensive with having it rethreaded or healer coiled. So yeah, always be very careful and just let the weight of the bar sort of pushing down be enough weight to let it start in, and then turn it till it's finger tight, and then so with the torque wrench just nip it up till the right pressure for your engine, which you'll again find in your workshop manual or Haynes manual. Cool, so that is 4 new plugs in, nice and tight. So then it's just a case of dropping the coil tops back on. Take a little bit of lining up with the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing, but they shouldn't be too tight. Line them back up with their bolt holes, and bolt them back down, and plug everything back up. Important thing to do is obviously make sure you don't knock any of these little bits that are broken off, and we'll remove them in a minute. And then once you've got all of it connected again, before you bother putting the covers and back on, it is worth just checking the engine actually starts. Which is the last thing you want to do is put all the covers back on, take everything away, and realise you've not actually connected everything back up again.